And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So however you decide to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big Wednesday. We are continuing on with our NFL draft prospect of the day. We got a potential celebrity in the making here with our NFL draft prospect of the day. We got a junior whose dad was pretty good in the league. So we got a cornerback from Florida State who's a junior. Who is it going to be? So we're going to be looking at him today. And then we've been saying that we were going to be breaking down the dunk contest for the last 2 days, but we just keep forgetting. So we're finally going to do it today, I think. If we forget again, I mean, we'll just never do it, and we'll look forward to next year's dunk contest. But I think we are going to try and remember here today to do it, look at it, break it down, and all that. And then today is the first day of the second half of the NBA season. Tips off today, 2 games on. Unfortunately, no primetime games, a little lame. But there is still games on nonetheless. So we will be doing our moneymaker, but I do want to kind of squeeze in our last day of just kind of challenging our own narratives and getting kind of, a solid understanding of what happened in that first half of the season. So we are going to be looking back at the stats a little bit because I do want to kind of go team by team, the teams that we haven't already looked at so far, and just kind of see how ESPN is ranking kind of the top players on that team. Are we kind of agreeing with that? Is there any surprises? Because we just had a surprise yesterday that Shake Milton was actually better than Seth Curry and Danny Green, and that Danny Green was like the 6th best person on that 76ers team. So we're gonna go and look at some of these other teams that we haven't talked about yet, and kind of see if we get anything like that we saw yesterday on the show. So we have all that to fit in, so let's start here because we do have a couple of stories to talk about. So here we go. Well, the NFL draft is now officially 50 days away, folks. Almost there. I mean, we've been on this journey so far. We are on day 24 of this 73 day NFL countdown to the NFL draft. So 50 days away, folks. And I love, as we're getting deeper into kind of our draft prospect, kind of showcase here, we are going to be able to find some maybe sleepers and some, great talent that maybe, you get in the second or third round. So as we keep on going, we're going to find some gems there. So yeah, we might be, taking or have already been looking at some of the, more notable players, but when we can find some, nice gems here in the draft, that's what we're going to be looking for, as we kind of get a little bit closer to that draft. Who we all know the big names. We all know Trevor Lawrence. We all know, Devontae Smith. We all know Lamar Chase. We all know Najee Harris. We all know them. But do y'all know, Peter Schmipton? Do y'all know him? Because he's made up. So we'll be looking for some of those, as we get closer to the draft. Alrighty, and then the salary cap has been officially announced today. It is $182.5 million, which is a little bit of a drop from last year's salary cap, which was $198 million. But it's a little bit better than what it was like 2 years ago, which was about $176 million. So we're at 182 here. That's why we're seeing, a lot of cuts, some decent name cuts there, not franchising tagging them. So not getting a deal done for these other guys. So we are going to see a lot of kind of decent, good players not returning to their team, and we are going to be breaking down some in a little bit. But the salary cap is set at $182.5 million. Alrighty, now let's start talking about who got franchise tagged and who didn't from yesterday and all that, and who's still available. So here we go. I mean, we told y'all this. We knew this. Lions don't plan on using the franchise tag on wide receiver Kenny Golladay. And folks, you just have to listen to what, the management, what the owners, what the general manager, what the coaches are saying about these players, and you can kind of, infer and, predict, with a great probability of what's going to happen, because we saw, the Lions general manager come out and be like, yeah, we want to do what's right for us and Kenny Golladay. And that was a huge red flag for us, because when you kind of frame that sentence like that, we know you're basically just kind of doing what's best for you. And, you say you're doing what's best for the player as well, but you really don't believe that. So as soon as we heard those words, we knew Kenny Golladay was not going to be a Lion this year. He's not going to be a Lion this year. He did not get franchise tag. Now, they can still sign him to a long deal. They can still do that. Do they? Probably not, because Dan Campbell has not been making any great decisions here for Detroit Lions here. So Kenny Golladay, he's a free agent. He can go wherever. We'll see where he goes, and he's definitely, like I said, he's definitely a good wide receiver you want. He's 6'4". You have to go and get that height on your team. He can put up 1,000 yards. We've seen him do that as well. So a complete wide receiver here, coming out of Detroit. Got to go get him. Somebody's got to go get him, and whoever does get him is going to be a lot better because of that. Alrighty, somebody that did get tagged, somebody we really didn't want to get tagged, unfortunately, but the Bears are franchise tagging wide receiver Allen Robinson. Now, we wanted Allen Robinson to get paid. We wanted this man to get a $100 million deal just of his performance last year, of what he did for this offense. Really, the only good player on this Bears offense was Allen Robinson. So they ended up tagging him. No long deal, but I still think he gets a nice chunk of change. It's unfortunate he doesn't get a long-term secure deal. Unfortunately, that's what everybody plays for. That's why people don't like being tagged, because you're only guaranteed 1 year of all that money. And now if you get injured this year, who's gonna give you that big contract? So that's why people want to get that big secure contract. That's why Dak didn't want to get tagged, because you saw what happens. You get tagged, you break your leg that same season. It sucks. So Allen Robinson got tagged here. I mean, he needs to be on this Bears team. I mean, they truly just deserve him that. The Bears owe this man a number one slot at the wide receiver position of just how well he played last season. We'll see who's going to be his quarterback, because we know it's not going to be Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles. So I'm thinking Allen Robinson is grateful for that. They're like, all right, you're going to tag me. At least I don't have to catch balls from Mitch Trubisky anymore. So I guess franchise tagging me is fine for this year. But he doesn't like it. He does not like it, because he went to Twitter, ended up changing his bio, and has a like tweet from Torrey Smith that says the franchise tag sucks, and then Allen Robinson went and liked that tweet. And then we get this updated bio: the Allen Robinson, Pro Bowl wide receiver, Detroit versus everybody. So is that a little, little, hey, I don't want to be here, but doesn't want to be franchise tagged. Not sure how much of this Detroit versus everybody is kind of putting a hint out there. But Allen Robinson does not like to be franchise tagged. But like we said, he doesn't have to catch balls for Mitch Trubisky anymore. So I think that is a little bit of a silver lining there in Chicago for Allen Robinson. Alrighty, now we have a list of other players that have not been franchise tags and probably will not be franchise tagged. Now, this doesn't mean that they are 100% leaving their team. They can still get a long-term deal done. They're just not getting franchise tags. So here we go. For the offensive players, we got running back Aaron Jones, running back Kenyon Drake, running back Chris Carson. Now, those are the running backs. Now, Aaron Jones is the clear best running back of the three that are now free agents. And we're going to look at Aaron Jones in a second, just because of how great this man can be and how maybe undervalued or maybe unrecognized he is in the league. All right, for wide receivers, we got Kenny Golladay, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Will Fuller. Now, Kenny Golladay, he can be a number one receiver. He's 6'4". Juju Smith-Schuster, I mean, he's still, a great weapon at wide receiver. Just maybe, some of these antics and TikTok maybe drive you away from not picking him up, but he does still have secure hands. And Will Fuller, a little risk there, because I don't think he's ever played a full 16-game season in his entire career, honestly. I don't think this man can stay healthy or out of trouble or unsuspended. So when we're kind of ranking who's kind of the best wide receiver free agents here, you got to easily go Kenny Golladay 1, Juju Smith-Schuster 2, and Will Fuller 3. For tight ends, we get Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Hunter Henry from the Chargers, Jonnu Smith from the Titans. So two big, beefy tight ends that can catch the ball pretty decently. So nice little kind of full market here offensively. We're going to look at the defense in a second as well. And then for kind of offensive linemen, we got Trent Williams, Joe Thunley, and Corey Linsley. So you can really find good value here in free agency, not having to kind of just look forward to the draft. There is some good pieces, some secondary pieces, some even kind of number one pieces in Aaron Jones and Kenny Galladay that you can't really pick up and instantly improve your team. You just hopefully you can get a good deal. Hopefully you don't get gouged in free agency. As we said, the salary cap did drop a little bit this season, so we'll see what happens on the deals. Actually, we do have we've got another free agent here because the Saints are releasing Emmanuel Sanders. So that's another good wide receiver to have. And and if we're kind of just ranking these wide receivers of Kenny Galladay, Smith-Schuster, Fuller, and Emmanuel Sanders, I think Kenny Galladay's number one. I think Emmanuel Sanders can be like 1B. Juju Smith-Schuster still's number 2. And then Will Fuller is still probably number 3 or 4, however you want to rank it. But Emmanuel Sanders is another wide receiver on the market. Once again, just nice veteran presence who's kind of a guaranteed catch. He can go down the field. He can run the slants. He's got great hands. So really some real big, good names here in free agency in the offensive end of the ball. All right, now we got this tape from Aaron Jones, so I just want to kind of just look at how explosive and how quick this man is. So we have a nice little highlight package here. But let's just watch this man work a little bit here. Just he hits the middle, cuts back inside, and then he just hits that left side out, running that secondary of the defense here. I mean, just look at that sheer speed to go in. I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful here. The cut back inside real quick, the cut back outside real quick, and just all in one move, still being very quickly here. Absolutely fantastic. All right, now we're going to get a screen up top here to Aaron Jones. Here we go. The blocking is absolutely fantastic, and then he's just going to take it 70 yards, outrunning everybody on the Chiefs defense. And we know they've got, a pretty good explosive defense. They got Tyrann Mathieu as a safety, a nice little quick, defender out there. So these aren't bad defenses, although we are looking at the Vikings defense right now. We just heard Mike Zimmer at the end of the season call this the worst defense he's ever seen. So now we're getting bad defenses here with the Vikings, but once again, just beating everybody to the edge, being shifty, and just that finishing speed. You're not going to catch him. As soon as he gets to that second level, you better wait by or get your defense right or get your offense ready to go on the field, because that's 6 points right there. Easy. All right, here we go against the Lions now. Just hitting right up the middle, folks. Literally just right up the middle. That's all he did. I don't even think he deviated from the middle that much. Maybe like a couple inches, maybe 6 inches to the right a little bit as he just started out. But this is just hitting the hole right up the middle, just beating the two safeties before they converge. And that's just strictly up the middle, that pure speed. And that's gone for about 50, 60 yards as well. So this man has pure breakaway speed. This is easily the best running back free agent there is right now. And maybe he can... if you're looking to kind of maybe, get Aaron Jones or Najee Harris, I say you got to go with the proven talent and not kind of risk that draft potential here. Here he is, Chicago, trying to bring him down right at the line of scrimmage. He sheds a blocker, stays on his feet. A nice little stiff arm there. And, I mean, he picks up about 5 or 6 extra yards after just being brought down but staying on his feet. So absolutely fantastic. Now we get a play against the Rams defense. Gets the handoff. Nice little hole right there up the middle. Got to the second line. Can he outrun everybody? Safety coming. He turns it back inside. Oh my gosh. Okay, he doesn't take it all the way, but I mean, still very close to breaking this open. Just running and shifting through the defense to pick up an extra 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35 yards there. So it's just absolutely fantastic. This man is truly special. And this man is easily the best running back available right now. So if you have a chance to go and secure a nice nice running back that you need to improve your team, it's got to be Aaron Jones. Now, Kenyon Drake and Chris Carson are definitely great options available, but Aaron Jones is clearly the best. Kenyon Drake and Chris Carson, they're decent. They can kind of make a running game work, but they have nowhere near the speed or just kind of the athletic ability to run like Aaron Jones does. So you got to go and get Aaron Jones if you need a running back right now. He's easily the best. And honestly, I don't know if the Packers really let him go. I think he may sign back. Maybe they're going to sign him to a long-term deal. We'll see. I just don't see the Packers getting rid of of that huge lethal running back, especially with kind of Aaron Rodgers in the back end of his career, probably 1 or 2 more seasons for that man as well. So I really don't think they can afford to get, take a step back in the running department and be lackluster in the running department next year and have Aaron Rodgers just kind of lead the team himself. So we'll see if he leaves Green Bay. He's not getting franchise tags, so we'll see if he gets a big deal. But somebody's got to pay that man. Truly, that man's fantastic. Alrighty, now the defensive players not tagged. Here we go. Some nice names here, and you really can shore up your defense, whether it's a lineman, a linebacker, a corner, a safety. There's really some great options here. So we get Shaq Barrett, we get Matt Judon, Bud Dupree, Leonard Floyd, Levante David, Hassan Reddick. Those are all linebackers, folks. These are fantastic players right here. You got Bud Dupree from the Steelers, Shaq Barrett from, Super Bowl winning team. So there's a ton of options here in the defensive end. Now for the linemen, you can get Delvin Tomlinson. For defensive ends, you can get Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue. I mean, remember the big hype about Ngakoue at the beginning of the season, how the Jaguars traded him to Minnesota, and then Minnesota has the worst defense. So you could probably get Yannick Ngakoue pretty cheap this year at the edge rushing position. Then for cornerbacks, we get William Jackson, Shaquille Griffin, great names there, and Josh Johnson at the safety position. So there are some names on this defensive side of the ball as well to kind of shore up your defense. If you're just missing 1 or 2 pieces here, you can go out and get it in free agency. So some big old names, some big old options here, offensive side, defensive side of the ball, and expect some deals getting done really any minute. Now we are kind of in the full swing of things now that teams are kind of starting to use the franchise. I think we had like 9 teams yesterday starting to franchise tag some of these players. So be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for this offseason to officially pick up some speed here. Alrighty, what's the next one up? Here we go. Giants. They've announced several coaching staff changes, including the hiring of Rob Sale as offensive line coach, but this is what we want to talk about here, and Freddie Kitchens moving from tight ends coach to senior offensive assistant. Not sure how I feel about that. Not really a big fan of Freddie Kitchens. I'm a big fan of just his Giants team in general, like their coach, like their offensive coordinator, like their team, like their quarterback, like their running back. So just don't really think I like Freddie Kitchens that much. I mean, he had where are we at here? He had a game where he had to go and be the offensive coordinator because of Jason Garrett. He had got COVID or was a close contact or something. So held Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator, out for 1 game. So Freddie Kitchens steps in week 15 here against the Cleveland Browns, his own team. And when we just look at just what they did offensively and in the game, it was nothing great. I mean, they had their worst offensive performance this game, putting up only 6 points. That's Freddie Kitchens. He's calling the plays here, and he's getting elevated to a senior assistant offensive role here. Not great. I mean, when we look at what they did, now the Giants did nothing great all season, and it wasn't like they were one of the best teams in this league. They are still kind of growing, and the absence of Saquon Barkley definitely hurt them this season. But still, to only put up 6 points, the least amount of points they ever had this entire season, that's not great. Daniel Jones threw no touchdowns. Once again, not great. They threw for 214 yards, which is about average of what they're doing. It's about 6. They had about 6 other games above 214 yards this season passing. But the rushing game was absolutely atrocious. I mean, only 74 yards, but they were having games with 190 yards rushing. 140, 150, 160, 100, 160, 132, 89, 136, 66, 75. So there was a lot more games where, the rushing attack was better than what Freddie Kitchens did in his one lone game, calling plays, kind of commanding the offense a little bit. And then what do we get here? 0 of 2 on 4th downs, not great. 5 of 11 on 3rd downs, kind of average on what they were doing kind of all season. So just nothing great. He never elevated the team. The points was the worst because it couldn't figure out how to score the ball, couldn't figure out, how to get into that field goal territory to kind of score some points. So not really big on Freddie Kitchens, but he keeps getting jobs and getting promotions. I don't really get it, but we'll see what happens. And let's continue on here with the Giants. We kind of saw this at the close of the show yesterday, but we'll bring it back up here. Giants coach Joe Judge on quarterback Daniel Jones, quote, "We have confidence in Daniel. He's a player that we want to work with going forward with this team." And we saw another story yesterday at the end of the show with the general manager saying, no, we're not shopping in this kind of crazy quarterback era for Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. We are good with Daniel Jones. We spent 2 years kind of developing him. We see him getting better, and we still like him as kind of the face of our franchise. And again, we have to kind of remind people, I mean, just this instant quarterback success, it's really kind of outliers. It really doesn't happen like this. Russell Wilson, first year just, above like a winning season, has never had a losing season. Deshaun Watson's kind of great as soon as he came in. We saw Patrick Mahomes just be great as soon as he came in. Lamar Jackson still, learning, but, as soon as he came in, he was pretty great as well. And then we get Joe Burrow having, pretty good success before he got injured. And we see Justin Herbert having one of the best rookie seasons ever. So, we do see, some quarterbacks just have instant success, but that's not really, those are kind of exceptions to the rule here. So, I don't like how all these teams every single season, how these fans every single season are like, oh my goodness, we have to get rid of this quarterback. We got to go and get the guy, the star that's already proven. Most quarterbacks take time to develop. You've got to develop them. Coming from college to the NFL is way, way different. The speed of the game is different. The coverage is different. The open ability is different. Having somebody open in college is way different than having somebody open in the NFL. I mean, ask Tua. He's learning that right now. So we do see Daniel Jones getting better every single season, but he's definitely going to have to be good this season. And I'm kind of putting the loss of Saquon Barkley a little high on why Daniel Jones didn't have a great season this season. So when we look at what he did, so he's only played 2 seasons, 2019 and 2020. 2019 he played 12 games and went 3-9, and then 2020 he played 2 more games, so 14 games, and he those 2 extra games he elevated those games to wins. So he went 5-9. So once again, he did get better in the record column, but we definitely need more wins coming into this third season. He had 62.5% completion percentage, and in a time of where this season was kind of like hyper-inflated completion percentage, we do want to see this man get a little bit better. But once again, basically 3,000 yards. He's at 2,943. The touchdowns was very light this season, only 11, and the interceptions was 10, but that went down from last season, from 12 his first season to 10 this season. So the interceptions coming down. We can maybe kind of give you 10. I don't want to see any more than 10, but with 10, you got to throw, 22 to 25 touchdowns as well. So he definitely does have his work cut out for him, but the difference in coaching his first 2 years, new offensive coordinators, losing your running game. They had no running game. So, I mean, the defense is just playing the pass. We'll let you run. You don't have Saquon Barkley. We're not afraid of your second option that you have. Who was it? Devontae Freeman. We saw what he was doing with the Falcons. We're not impressed by that. We're not scared by that. So this is definitely kind of not truly a do or die year, but we need to see him be competitive, try to get to 500, try to be competitive in the division, and try to at least compete for a playoff spot. But I think with the addition of Saquon Barkley, a fresh, full offseason with Jason Garrett under his belt, I think he's shown some real great tangibles, and I kind of like what the offensive scheme is going forward, maybe having Daniel Jones run a little bit more, because I do think he's a decent dual threat quarterback here. So we'll keep an eye on Daniel Jones, but I am a believer in him. I mean, he ran for a lot here. He ran for 423 yards. He can definitely, be a solid dual threat quarterback in this league. Obviously, nowhere near, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, but he can be in that second tier, just using his legs to an advantage, kind of like a Ryan Tannehill. So he's got some nice speed. He's got some nice athleticism. Got to see him start to step it up here a little bit more in the stat column. Want to see these interceptions to continue to go down, but I do want to see these touchdowns go up a little bit more, because these only 11 touchdowns, you have to score the ball here if you want to win games. So I am a believer in Daniel Jones, and we will tolerate no Daniel Jones slander here. Alrighty, and then the last story to talk about: the Titans have informed Starting cornerback Malcolm Butler, he has been released, so unfortunate for him. This is once again a decent pickup on the defensive end of the ball. I mean, he's not a true lockdown corner. He can't go up against your A1 tier 1 number 1 wide receiver. He can't go up against a DeAndre Hopkins and had success, but he can kind of take away your number 2, number 3 options. So we saw him, win the Super Bowl for the Patriots, picking off Russell Wilson in the end zone. Then he went to the Titans this year because, after that season, Bill Belichick was like, yeah, we're done with you. You don't bring anything to the table anymore. Thank you for winning me a ring single-handedly, but now you're gone. So he leaves New England. I think he went somewhere else. Did he just go to the Titans instantly? There may have been a stop between New England and the Titans, but either way, he's no longer a Titan. So solid kind of number 2 cornerback here, just to once again kind of just shore up defenses. If you already got a great shutdown corner, I think Malcolm Butler is definitely decent to just kind of be a nice number 2, number 3 corner option for teams. So nice. There's definitely plenty of options to shore up your offense, shore up your defense. If you're missing 1 or 2 pieces here to get back into this championship race. So we'll see who goes out and spends. We'll see who goes out and attracts the hottest free agents here in Aaron Jones and the offensive end of the ball, and probably Shaq Barrett, Bud Dupree, probably the best defensive names there are right now free agent wise. Alrighty, so that's all we have to talk about today in the story department. We'll check back at the end of the show to see if anything has been breaking, anybody getting tagged, anybody getting signed, so we'll kind of check that at the end of the season. So now let's go to the NBA dunk contest. We're not forgetting, so we got to kind of put it at the forefront of the show. So, a couple days late here, but we're getting it done. We're getting it done. We finally remembered to do it. So here we go. We're just going to kind of score the first round, just kind of how we would score it, and then kind of just talk it through. So here we go. The NBA 2021 dunk contest from a couple days ago. Here we go. The first dunk up is Cassius Stanley. And I'm just going to tell you right now, he's disrespected with the score on this one. I mean, a huge floater, and then just, kind of a seated dunk, kind of almost like with Zach LaVine, who was it, Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon in that dunk contest, who literally just went kind of sitting, and the pass of the ball underneath the legs. I mean, this is fantastic. Great bounce, great, just a great dunk, just going between his legs, getting his head almost at the rim. I mean, this is a truly underrated dunk here. I give this a 10. This is a 10, folks. Between the legs, airborne, huge air, great hops. I mean, I definitely give this dunk a 10. But then when we look at what the judges give them, we see 8s and 9s. And do I see a 7? We're going to see it again. We'll see the numbers in a second. But that's a fantastic dunk. Great first round dunk, absolutely, and just 9s and 8s everywhere. Nobody gave him a 10, not one 10 somewhere. What are we doing? I gave that man a 10. Alrighty, so we got 10 for Cassius Stanley's first dunk. All right, Obi Toppin here. What does he got? Huge dunk, and once again, I mean, we watched Obi Toppin. We predicted him to kind of win this, but what a dunk here. Just a quick bounce pass between his legs, catching it between his legs as he's going up in the air, and this is a nice dunk too. I give this dunk a 10 as well. I mean, just absolutely fantastic. Not a huge running start. This concentration of bouncing it under your legs as you're jumping and still catching it a little bit behind your back and getting the dunk still. It's fantastic. Now, he did get a couple 10s here, 3 10s, 2 9s, so we give him a 10 as well. Alrighty, that means Anthony Simmons is up now. Here we go. And this is, folks. I mean, I don't want to say we kind of looked at the perfect dunk highlights when we kind of predicted the matchups like last week on the show, because we saw Anthony Simons here tapped like the highest part of the glass and seeing where that reach was, and it was all in preparation for this dunk right here. And this is probably the best first round dunk there is. He put the ball right outside of the inner square that you bounce your layups off of to make sure they're 100% in. So he puts it right at the top left corner of that square. He's got it held up there. He goes up, jumps all the way up. I think this is his first attempt as well. He just goes up, catches it, takes the ball, and then dunks it. I mean, the height on this is absolutely magnificent, and I don't think we've ever seen this before. I don't think I've ever seen somebody just stick the ball on the backboard and go and grab it all in one motion and dunk it. I think this is the first time we've seen it, so this is an absolute 10 for this man. Let's see what the judges give him. These should be all 10s. This should be a flawless 50 right here, but only one 10. 10? Or what are we doing here? Who's judging these dunks? We can't even take these judges seriously. And this isn't just on this NBA dunk contest. This goes back to the last like 3, where Dwayne Wade gave somebody like an 8 or a 9 and just kind of ruined them from winning for some reason. So can't really trust the judges here. You can trust us, though. We're giving out fair scores here. All right, so everybody gets 10s on their first dunks. Let's see what happens on the second round of dunks here. Cassius Stanley is back up here. A big old lob, but unfortunately he had to do this because he was running out of attempts. So not a great dunk here. Just kind of basic. This is kind of like an in-game dunk a little bit besides the big old bounce pass, but just kind of a nice little... not really tomahawk, maybe mid tomahawk dunk. It's nice, but it's like an 8.5. It's a 9. I give it an 8.5. Nothing great. And that's what it was getting here, 8s and 7s. So truly unfortunate here. Just couldn't hit his main dunk. So he has to kind of go to a basic dunk, and that really eliminates him from the competition, unfortunately. So it's just the top 2 dunkers go to the final round with 1 dunk each. So unfortunately, Cassius Stanley here with the 8.5 from us. Not going to really get it done here. So here's Anthony Simons' second dunk attempt here. He changes into the Tracy McGrady jersey, and this is like a 360 spin midair. Look at him kind of catch this one. Maybe not totally 360, maybe like 330, but I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. This man's bungees his air, just how high he can get up and stay in the air and just total control and dunk the ball 360. Absolutely fantastic. I give him another 10 on this one. I don't like the jerseys. We saw who did this. Somebody did a couple of years ago, putting on the Vince Carter jersey. Not a big fan of these jerseys, putting on jerseys and kind of replicating dunks. Don't really like it that much. But here's Anthony Simons, truly respected by the judges here. 4 10s and a 9. I can definitely get behind that. We got him with 10s. So we got Anthony Simons back-to-back 10s. So he would definitely advance in our scoring to the finals, which he does. So that's good. And now we got Obi Toppin's last dunk here. A run up, jumps over 2 people, and just look at him cradle this ball, and then he goes and just a nice windmill as he's jumping over these 2 players. I mean, this just ball control, everything about this is fantastic. Jumping over 2 tall people here, and the windup of the ball is really what makes this dunk from maybe like a 9 to really a 10. Just look at this windup. Yes, sir. I mean, everybody, was blasting Obi Toppin before this dunk contest, saying, oh, his height's going to be a disadvantage for him. But then he goes and puts all these little spins on these dunks to make them even better. And so I got to give him so much credit for this dunk. This is a clear 10 as well. And I think he gets a little disrespected by the judges here. I want to say he doesn't get that many 10s, but I mean, this wind up here and then the windmill as he's jumping over these players, the sheer concentration. And this is true disrespect here by the judges. 4 9s and only 1 10. What are we doing here? Oh my goodness. Man. That's better than a 46. That's got to be a clear 50. Nobody is appreciating these dunks out here. And that's probably, bad having, legendary NBA players be judges because, they're all like, oh, I could do better. Oh, in my prime, I could have done better. Blah, blah, blah. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. Stop that. So they're just trying to protect their own legacy, maybe. That's why, maybe a little bit of lower scores here. But we got Obi Toppin with 2 10s. We judged Anthony Simons 2 dunks with 2 10s. Unfortunately, Cassius Stanley has to go to the backup dunk with only really an 8.5. So Anthony Simons and Obi Toppin advance to the final rounds here, each with 1 dunk. So let's watch these. And it's tough to crown a winner here between these 2, but we'll talk through it. Here we go. Obi Toppin is up first. Here we go. Just a nice little underneath the legs dunk. Nothing really great. I think his first dunk, this was basically his first dunk, but he got a big old running start instead of just a small running start with the bounce pass between his legs. So not a big fan. Let's see where he took off from. I think just like a foot inside. Yeah, just a foot inside the free throw line. So nothing really spectacular there. Nothing really great here. I would say this is like an 8.5 dunk. Nothing great, unfortunately. And then the real problem with the winner here is Anthony Simons. So let's watch his dunk and talk through it. So he's starting from the corner 3. Shoots it up high for the high bounce. And then he goes and dunks it. but it's just a high dunk. And unfortunately, what he was trying to do here is great. You know, the thought of the dunk of him kissing the rim as he's dunking, but he doesn't actually touch the rim with his lips a little bit. He's a couple inches away. He kind of pulls away at the last second there. And I think that takes a lot of weight from the dunk here. Now, if he actually kissed it, this is one of the best dunks ever in a dunk contest. I got to give him so much credit for it. But he never really made contact with the rim. As we said, a couple of inches away from the iron there. I want to see those lips touch that iron. You better get up there. If you're trying to kiss the rim, you better kiss the rim. I think who was it? Kenny, during just the commentary of the dunk contest, he was like, I would have put a mouth guard in and I would have went 100% of kissing that rim. And I truly 100% agree. If you're going to go for it and make sure your lips touch the rim. If that's your concept of the dunk, of me kissing the rim, I want to see you at least kissing the rim. I don't want to see you getting close and then kind of shying away at the last second. So the idea of the dunk is there. The execution of the dunk wasn't truly right there, and that this is the only reason why we know what he was trying to do with it, because after the dunk he goes and kind of air kisses the rim, so now you can put it all together. But if he never does this and we don't really know the full context of the dunk, this is just a regular old dunk, nothing great. But he was going against Obi Toppin, who once again didn't do anything great as well. So I judged Obi Toppin's dunk maybe 8.5. I think I give Anthony Simmons maybe a 9 here, just because at least he had an idea with the dunk, where really Obi Toppin, it was just a normal dunk. So I think Anthony Simons got kind of bailed out a little bit here with Obi Toppin's lackluster dunk, because if Obi Toppin had a mind-blowing dunk, Anthony Simons not touching the rim with his lips, I think is just going to be a clear loss there. So the judges score Anthony Simmons the best dunk. They don't score any points. It's just one dunk for each player, and then everybody votes. And Anthony Simmons wins 3-2 here. And I would have judged it probably a 9 if we have to give a score to it. 9 for Anthony Simons, 8.5 for Obi Toppin at the end. So Anthony Simons won. We predicted Obi Toppin would win. We thought Anthony Simons could win because we were watching him in his kind of pre-dunk footage and just some dunk highlights, and we saw him just get up on that rim. We saw his head above the rim every single time. And then he showcased it with his first dunk of just grabbing the ball very high off the glass. I mean, he's only 6'2", folks. He's 6'3". He's he's a shorter player, but he can get up very high. So unfortunately for Obi Toppin, he loses. Anthony Simons wins. Congratulations to him. Just maybe a little bit of a bailout there, since Obi Toppin didn't have a great dunk. But the idea of kissing the rim as you're dunking, it's a pretty good one. So Anthony Simons wins the dunk contest. Do we agree? Yeah, we agree. We judge him of winning as well. Just really wish he would have made contact with the rim with his lips, honestly. But that was the dunk contest. Pretty decent for, kind of a makeshift dunk contest. Only 3 players in the halftime of an actual all-star game where, there's only 2 rounds, and I think there's only 2 rounds in the regular dunk contest, but, only 1 dunk in that second round. We're really not used to that. So, alrighty. Anthony Simons, winner of the 2021 NBA dunk contest. So, very well done. Alrighty, let's continue on here. Just kind of questioning our own narratives in the NBA in the first half of the season. We're just going to kind of start breaking down some of these teams here. We're going to kind of look at these kind of leaders, according to ESPN, per team of the teams we haven't already looked at, just to kind of see if our thinking is on par with what the actual stats are. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. In the first team, should we go Atlanta? Let's go Atlanta, since they're the top listed team here. So, alrighty, Atlanta, when we click on them, we are definitely expecting Trae Young to be 1, Clint Capella to be 2, probably John Collins 3, but then I want to see who's going to be 4, 5, and 6, and just how much of an impact they're making. So here we go. Let's see what they've got. Atlanta, here it is. Trae Young, number 1, absolutely. 26 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds a game. Fantastic. And I do want to point out that Trae Young, I think, is like the second highest in assists per game, just under James Harden, because James Harden is going absurd with the 11. Nobody else is in double digits, and Trae Young is at 9.4. So got to give a lot of respect to Trae Young. Then we get Clint Capella, number 2 here, 14 points, barely an assist a game, 0.9 assists, but he's at the 14.2 rebounds. I think that is the highest. I think we checked that. That is the highest rebounding of a big. So we got some nice core pieces here in Atlanta, and this team is good. But then John Collins is number 3, exactly what we thought. 18 points, 1 assist, 7 rebounds. And then we get DeAndre Hunter at number 4, 17 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Then Kevin Huerter, 12 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. We get Danilo Gallinari. We see him coming off the bench a lot, and he's got 11 points a game, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 rebounds for Danilo Gallinari. So nothing too great there. And Cam Reddish, he's only played 26 games, 11 points, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds. So not bad, actually. I thought this would be a little bit worse. I didn't expect to kind of have 6 players all averaging double-digit scoring, or 7 players all averaging double-digit scoring. Definitely need to see them be a little bit better off the bench. We see Rondo at number 9 here. 3 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds a game. Would like to see him, get those numbers up a little bit, at least those assists and points. Would like to see him, around those probably 8 to 10 points off the bench. I don't think that's kind of asking too much for him, and maybe about 6 or 7 rebounds a game off the bench as well. And then we get Bogdanovic. I mean, he's only played 11 games, and he's at 9 points a game, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. So some decent pieces here besides Trae Young and Clint Capella. Just need them to kind of play good and be healthy, because we see DeAndre Hunter. I mean, he's only played 18 games, and he's the 4th best player on this team. And then we got Bogdanovic, only 11 games played, and he's number 8. So if they get a little bit more healthier here, can stay healthy, Atlanta, they've got the core pieces, just need the supporting cast around them. Alrighty, we looked at did we look at Boston already? Well, let's look at Boston. We did look at Boston already. Marcus Smart is number 4, Kemba Walker 3, Daniel Tice is 5. We are actually a little bit more impressed with Tristan Thompson a little bit overall than Daniel Tice. That's what we saw when we looked at Boston. We looked at Brooklyn. We can go to the Hornets now. Let's see, how this is faring out. I would probably expect LaMelo Ball to be one. How crazy is that, from coming off the bench to be kind of, your number 1 player overall on the team? So I got to see LaMelo Ball 1. Probably expect Terry Rozier to be 2. Gordon Hayward to be 3. I'm interested to see kind of how Cody Zeller is. Where is he kind of ranking in the offense here? Just because I don't really think of him as a good big, a solid big here. Maybe a tier 3 big, not a tier 2 with Clint or Jared Allen, Montrezl Harrell. Putting them in tier 2. So I think Cody Zeller's a little bit light there. So let's kind of see where the Hornets are rocking. Wow. Whoa. Gordon Hayward is number 1 here. 21 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds a game, making 2 3-pointers a game. All right. Terry Rozier is number 2 with 20 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 3-pointers made. And then we get LaMelo Ball here. Number 3, 15 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. Alrighty. Then we get P.J. Washington, 12 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Then we get Devontae Graham, 13 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. And then we get Cody Zeller, number 6 here, 9 points, 2 assists, 7 rebounds. And he's only played 18 games, so a little light on him as well. Then we get Miles Bridges and Malik Monk at 7 and 8. Miles Bridges, 10 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Malik Monk, 13 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. So we know they can have some nice bench scoring in Malik Monk and Miles Bridges. Just need to see them do a little bit better here. I think they've kind of been floundering ever since LaMelo Ball has really left the bench, because they don't really have a great point guard to kind of handle the bench, the second rotation here. So need to see, somebody else step it up here off the bench to kind of be what LaMelo Ball was, just a facilitator on the floor for getting Miles Bridges and Malik Monk a little bit more active in the scoring department off the bench. But not bad here. A little interesting. So Cody Zeller at number 6. Definitely did not expect LaMelo Ball to be number 3 here. I didn't really expect Gordon Hayward to be number 1, honestly. So that was a little surprising. All right. So not bad here. All right. Charlotte. The Hornets. They've got some nice pieces, and as we said, they are currently number 7 in the East, so they still can make the playoffs. They're currently in the playoffs, so absolutely. So not bad there. The Hornets looking a little decent there. All right, let's do Chicago now. Let's see where Kobe White is. We get Zach LaVine, number 1. Obviously, we knew that hands down. We knew that was going to happen. So Zach LaVine's number 1 here, 28 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Then we get Lauri McCarron, and he's only played 14 games, and he's number 2 here. 19 points, 1 assist, barely 1 assist, 0.9 assists, and 6 rebounds a game. And then we get Kobe White, 16 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. So, I mean, if he's consistent and he's averaging how many threes a game? 2 threes a game. Alrighty. So if you can keep all this up, definitely need to be him in kind of 20-point territory, scoring every single night. So if you can get those points up a little bit, this Bulls team can definitely make that kind of late push to get into the playoffs. And then look at this, folks. Yes, sir. Thaddeus Young is number 4. The 6th Man of the Year candidate is the 4th best person here on this Bulls team, and that's fantastic. So Thaddeus Young, the 12 points a game, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. So Thaddeus Young can definitely play, folks, and he should definitely be a 6th Man of the Year candidate. Then we get Wendell Carter, their center, at number 5. 12 points, 2 assists, 7 rebounds a game. Most rebounds on the team a game, so very well done. And then Otto Porter Jr. at number 6. 11 points a game, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds. So not bad there either. Alrighty, so that's the Bulls. I mean, definitely got to see a little bit more from Kobe White. If Lauri McCarron can, get healthy in this kind of back half of the season, this Bulls team, I mean, I think they're number 10 here in the East. Is that right? They're number 9 here in the East. So, I mean, the East is truly competitive, folks. I mean, at the break, what do we got here? The top... The difference between 4 and 12 is really only 5 games. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of jump here in the East here, and it's going to come down to the wire. So, a lot of teams can make it. The Bulls, the Hornets, the Raptors, the Pacers, the Hawks, the Wizards, the Cavs can all kind of make, the 7th, 8th seed here in the East. So, a lot of teams up for grabs here, a lot of chances here. Alrighty, let's continue on here. Let's do the Cavs. I would definitely expect Jared Allen to be in the top 2. Probably Colin Sexton to be 1, but let's kind of see who else is stepping it up here consistently. Wow, Andre Drummond is number 1. Alrighty. Andre Drummond, 17 points, 2 assists, and 13 rebounds a game. Absolutely fantastic. And we know they've just been sitting him because they are looking to trade him. So, wherever he goes, he's going to be ready to go, ready to play, and this is what he can bring. 17 points and 13 rebounds a game. Yeah, we'll take that abso-freaking-lutely. Fantastic. Then we get Colin Sexton at 2, 24 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. And then we get Jared Allen at 3, 14 points, and 9 rebounds. So, yes, Jared Allen is technically the 2 here because Andre Drummond is kind of no longer on this team. He is there physically, but not really kind of spiritually. And then what else do we get here? Darius Garland's number 4, 16 points a game, 5 assists, 2 rebounds every game. Then Larry Nance Jr., we've seen him kind of out a lot, only played 19 games, and he's at 9 points and 3 assists and 6 rebounds. So Larry Nance Jr., we've seen him play with LeBron and kind of just make it work with LeBron. So, we can kind of expect him to kind of just be a decent role player here for the Cavs if he can be and stay healthy. Then we get to C.D. Osman at number 6. 10 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds a game. He's hitting 2 threes a game. All right, I thought that would be a little bit lower. I didn't think he was that consistent of a 3-point shooter. Only 2 though, so not big. He's kind of in that mediocre range, but he's actually the best 3-point shooter on the team. I mean, nobody else is averaging 2 threes made a game. The second highest is 1.7 with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. So C.D. Osman, if he can keep up that 3-point shooting, we'll take it. Alrighty, I think that's, and then JaVale McGee, he's number 10, folks. He's really not that great, just kind of, an alright bench piece. We know he's kind of aging out of this league, and we saw that when he played with the Warriors and the Lakers for their championship runs. I don't think he really has anything that too productive on this team, so. Cleveland, Andre Drummond is still their best player. Alrighty, let's go to Dallas now. Obviously, we know Luka Doncic is going to be 1 hands down, but is Porzingis still going to be 2? We'll see. Here we go. Luka Doncic is number 1, 28 points a game, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds, very close to that triple-double average. Then we get Kristaps Porzingis, 20 points at number 2, 20 points and 8 rebounds. Then we get Tim Hardaway Jr. at 3, 16 points, 1 assist, and 3 rebounds. And I just kind of want to point this out. Dorian Finney-Smith, number 6, who kind of competes for that starting rotation now and then. Only 8 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds, and then Maxi Kleber, we've seen him in the starting lineup as well. Only 7 points, 1 assist, and 5 rebounds. So they really don't have that many players to get it done, especially kind of their bench players. Besides their top 5 players, nobody's averaging those 10-plus points a game that we want to see. We want to see bench players put up 10 points, multiple bench players to put up 10 or more points, kind of like 2. We kind of need, all the starters to go off, and then we need some great contributions off the bench coming in the forms of 10 plus points, and we really don't have that here for the Mavericks, and that's why they've been kind of floundering this season. That's why they're kind of have they clawed their way back in, or are they still number 10 here in the West? No, they did. They're number 8 here in the West, but it's still very close here between 10 and 8, so still some competition to be fought. We'll see if the Mavericks can kind of keep it up here. They did kind of close out the first half of the season on a very big high note for the Mavericks, so that's great, but let's see if they can kind of keep it up here in the second half. Let's see if Porzingis can stay healthy. That's kind of been a big knock going back to last season in the bubble. Kristaps Porzingis not healthy in the playoffs, and that's kind of why they floundered, and that's why they didn't make that big run. Alrighty, we'll do Denver very quickly. I just kind of want to see what Blake Griffin's kind of rank is here. We went to Denver, doing Detroit. We'll come back to Denver. I think I got a little excited and put Detroit over Denver. But Blake Griffin's the 5 here, number 5 with 12 points a game, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. Making 2 threes a game, I don't believe that. Truly do not believe that. So Blake Griffin here, he was the 5th best player here in the Pistons. Don't really truly believe that either. We see Saddiq Bey as at number 8 with 9 points and 1 assist and 3 rebounds. So we've seen his ability. He's kind of just just starting to get to that starting role here for Saddiq Bey. But we've seen him do some good things. We've seen him be able to put up, 12, 15 plus points, the 7 plus rebounds. So if he can kind of do that a little bit more consistently and maybe at a little bit of a better pace, because now he's kind of, the second best option besides Jeremy Grant out here. So we kind of need to see Saddiq Bey to start stepping it up here. But overall, this Detroit team is really nothing great. I mean, Derrick Rose was number 4. He's still number 4, and he's not even there anymore. He only played 15 games for them. So Derrick Rose was above Blake Griffin, truly deserved there. Number 4 for Derrick Rose, number 5 for Blake Griffin. So nothing really great on this Detroit team. Now let's go back to the Denver Nuggets here. Obviously the top 3 are Jokic, Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. Then we get Will Barton and Paul Millsap. So, the fact that they've been missing a couple of games here down the stretch, I mean, that just speaks to, how much they need their starting roster. And we know that because now you're losing your depth at the bench, because they do have some nice bench players. You got Monte Morris putting up 10 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. You get JaMychal Green, who's putting up 9 points and 6 rebounds. Gary Harris putting up 9 points and just those 9 points off the bench, and he's been out for a little bit. PJ Dozier, 7 points, 3 assists. So they are decently deep here. I hate this. Bobo is number 14 because he's not playing. He's only playing 5 minutes a game. Want to see this man more in the starting lineup, and it's so disrespectful that he still wasn't seeing minutes, even with Paul Millsap being out and Gary Harris being out. Get him involved a little bit more. You've got some options, but they still don't put him in. Unfortunate. So once they get really Paul Millsap back, they've kind of been, fine here even without Paul Millsap. They're 6-4 in their last 10. But once they get Paul Millsap back, they'll start to get out of this, 6th seed here in the West, and they'll be a little bit better. And let's quickly look at Michael Porter Jr., just kind of his averages. He's putting up 14 points a game, 1 assist, and 7 rebounds. So that's fantastic. 2.4 threes made a game. He's actually the second most 3-pointers made a game. Jamal Murray, number 1 with 2.6. Michael Porter Jr., 2 with 2.4. Alrighty, what else do we got to look at? We looked at the Warriors. I don't even want to look at Houston. We'll do them quickly, but I mean, they're trash. James Harden is still the best Rockets player at number 1. Christian Wood is still the number 2 here, and he's only played 17 games. John Wall and Victor Oladipo are 3 and 4, but DeMarcus Cousins is still 6, and he hasn't played, for a very long while. So, I mean, there's really just nothing great on this team. And when you take out, their 2 centers because they don't have DeMarcus Cousins anymore and Christian Wood is still injured, I mean, their next center is number 9 with 6 points and 4 rebounds a game. It's just there's really nothing great on this Houston team. Actually, very trash. Alrighty, who else should we look at now? Let's go to what else we got here? Let's do Milwaukee. Let's predict them before we look at them. But obviously, Giannis is going to be number 1. I would probably expect Chris Middleton to be number 2. Then Brook Lopez to be number 3. But just kind of want to see what their supporting cast is kind of doing here. 4 would probably be maybe Drew Holiday, depending on how many games he played. I can't really remember how many games he played, but he still may be up there. Then maybe, is Dante DiVincenzo going to be 5? Let's see what we get here. So here we go, Milwaukee. Giannis, obviously number 1 here. 29 points, 5 assists, and 11 rebounds a game. Chris Middleton, number 2, 20 points a game. 5 assists, 6 rebounds. He's putting up 2.3s a game, and he is the leader. So, that's kind of what we say. Chris Middleton needs to kind of be the consistent number 2 here, hitting all the threes, and we kind of see him kind of be a little lackluster some nights. Then we get Drew Holiday, number 3 in only 26 games, 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. So since he's now healthy again, getting him back into the starting lineup is probably something that's going to happen right after the All-Star break. So their first game back, Drew Holiday should be back in the starting lineup. Then number 4 is Bobby Portis. All right, 10 points a game, 7 rebounds, fantastic. Then we get Dante DiVincenzo at 10 points and 4 assists a game, 3 assists, 4 rebounds a game. Then Brook Lopez at number 6 here, 10 points, 5 rebounds a game. Pat Connaughton averaging 6. I mean, just look at this big old drop-off between kind of points between just kind of their main people. Giannis, 29. Chris Middleton, 20. Drew Holiday, 15. Bobby Portis, 10. And then Dante DiVincenzo, 10. And Brook Lopez, 10. But then, so those are their top 6 players. Then Pat Connaughton is at 6. And then Brian Forbes is at 9. And then DJ Augustin is at 6. So Torrey Craig is at 2. Torrey Craig is at 2, unfortunately. So they're not that deep here in the scoring department. That's why just everybody needs to be on it. When, Chris Middleton has kind of a lackluster game where he's not in those kind of 20 points a game category, they're losing most of these games because Chris Middleton is truly the number 2 here, and he needs to be a little bit better. So I'm still not buying this Bucks team. I mean, the stats, the film, looking at them game to game, nothing screams a great team to me for these players. All right, let's move on. Let's do the Knicks. This should be good. Honestly, I don't really know. I mean, probably, obviously, who's their guy? Julius Randle's probably going to be number 1, obviously, just because he's an all-star and he's having a great season. And then probably RJ Barrett, number 2. But then I'm not sure who's going to be kind of 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 because kind of their starters and bench players kind of just blend together besides RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. So let's see what the Knicks are kind of working with here. Julius Randle, obviously number 1 here, 23 points a game, 5 assists, 11 rebounds. RJ Barrett, 16 points a game, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. And then look at this, Derrick Rose, who's only played 10 games, is number 3 in this offense. 12 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds a game. Then we get Mitchell Robinson at number 4, 8 points and 8 rebounds. Elfrid Payton, 12 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Alec Burks, 11 points. 11 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Emmanuel Quickley, 12 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Nerlens Noel, 4 points, 6 rebounds. Reggie Bullock, 8 points, 3 rebounds. Austin Rivers, even though he played 21 games, 7 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Taj Gibson, 3 points, 4 rebounds. Obi Toppin, 4 points. 1 rebound, not even an assist. So, I mean, they've got some nice pieces here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that only 5 players in double-digit scoring? But then we get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players with all 5 or plus shooting besides those other ones. So not bad here by the Knicks. Obviously, they don't have really kind of a true number 2. RJ Barrett, I mean, he's good, but he's not kind of, they don't really have a superstar. Julius Randle's not a superstar. RJ Barrett's kind of a number 2 here, but that's why, this Knicks team, I'm a little nervous for them in the back half of the season. They really just need to all be on. They are the new Raptors team. All these role players, even the Raptors had, a superstar in Kyle Lowry. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard when they won the championship, but we're kind of talking after Kawhi Leonard. These kind of, at least they had Kyle Lowry to kind of be their superstar. This Knicks team, they don't have that kind of superstar, so they all need to be on, especially their bench. So we'll see what they do in the back half of the season, but very well done to Derrick Rose to just be instant success here, instant contribution for this Knicks team. Love it. Alrighty, any other teams here that we should be looking at? What else we get? Thunder, no, I mean, we know that already. Orlando, not really. Philadelphia, we've already looked at them. Phoenix, we already looked at them. No, we didn't look at them. So let's look at them real quick. I would probably assume Devin Booker's 1, Chris Paul's 2, DeAndre Ayton's 3. But let's kind of see. I would expect Jay Crowder to probably be 4 as well. I just kind of want to see the depth of this Phoenix team and what they're doing. So here we go. Let's look at this. Devin Booker is 1 here. 24 points a game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Chris Paul, 16 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. Then DeAndre Ayton, 14 points, 11 rebounds. Absolutely fantastic. Then we get McCall Bridges at 4, 13 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Then we get Jay Crowder, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Then we get Dario Saric, 11 points, 4 assists, or 4 rebounds. Then we get Cameron Johnson, 10 points, yes, sir. 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Frank Kaminsky, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Cameron Payne, 6 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. And then Abdel Nader, 6 points and 2 rebounds. So, I mean, not bad here. They're decently deep here. And we've kind of just seen, some of these players starting to hit their stride here, kind of the midway point of the first half of the season. That's kind of when we saw Jay Crowder really start to step it up and Dario Saric really start to step it up. Even Cameron Johnson stepping up a little bit. But the Suns team, they've got a real great squad here. And if they keep up this level of play, I mean, they're currently number 2 in the West, folks. Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, and then we're going to finish off with Portland, because I want to see what is going on. I want to say that CJ McCollum is probably still the number 2 here. Obviously, Damian Lillard's going to be the number 1, but I just want to kind of show of how great Damian Lillard is doing without their other great pieces in Nurkic and McCollum. So let's see what's going on with the Blazers, and then we'll move on. So here we go. Damian Lillard is number 1, 29 points, 8 assists. Is that right? Holy cow, 8 assists a game. I did not expect that. And 4 rebounds. This man is putting up 38 points and 8 assists a game, folks. Absolutely magnificent. Truly MVP candidate. And then CJ McCollum is still number 2, and he's only played 13 games, averaging 26 points a game, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. So, I mean, that's a huge piece that they're missing, and they're still number 5 in the West. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic what Damian Lillard is doing here. And then Enes Kanter is number 3, 11 points and 11 rebounds. Then Nurkic is number 4. So, 2 of their top 4 players here are not even playing. Nurkic has only played 12 games. McCollum has only played 13 games. And they're still the top 5 players in this team. And Damian Lillard is still getting wins. Give this man MVP. Carmelo Anthony, number 5 here. 13 points a game, 3 rebounds. He's been fantastic off the bench. Gary Trent Jr., 15 points. He's putting up 3 3-pointers a game. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's basically what Gary Trent Jr. is, just a scorer. And then when we look at the threes here, Damian Lillard's making 4, and CJ McCollum is making 4.8 threes a game. I mean, that's just so much production that they're losing with McCollum not on the floor. Then Robert Covington at number 7, 7 points, 6 rebounds. Then Derrick Jones Jr., 8 points, no assists, 4 rebounds a game. And that's what we want to see from freaking Derrick Jones Jr. We want to see him do something more than this. The points is decent with 8. I would like to, obviously, for him to have more, but not even averaging assists a game. Got to get better there. 4 rebounds a game. It's not bad, but he can do so much more. And then Anthony Simons here. Simons, 8 points, 2 rebounds. Rodney Hood's only putting up 5 points a game. Nasir Little's only putting up 5 points a game. So, I mean, they are making all these kind of players work without McCollum and Nurkic in the lineup. Damian Lillard is having great success here. So, God, honestly, we have to start respect. I mean, we do here at Takes by Fans. I'm just saying the media in general has to start respecting Portland more and really has to start to looking at Damian Lillard for the MVP, because what he's doing for this team right now without McCollum and Nurkic, it's absolutely magnificent, folks. I mean, look at, the clear front runner is probably, let's just say, Joel Embiid for the sake of argument. And they're number 1 in the West with only 24 wins. I mean, look what the Blazers are doing, 21 wins without 2 of their top 2 pieces, 2 of their top 4 pieces here. And Damian Lillard is willing them to 21 wins in the 5th seed in the West, so only 3 games out from what the 76ers are doing. I mean, if, let's just say, Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris were absent for this 76ers team with Joel Embiid, would he be able to kind of pick up the slack and still get these wins without Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons? I don't think he could, folks. I don't think he could. So we truly have to start respecting Damian Lillard for MVP. I've had enough. I have had enough here. Alrighty, before we get into our NFL draft prospect of the day, we got to talk the NBA, folks, because we got games on tonight. The second half of the NBA season is tipping off tonight. 2 games on. Unfortunately, no nationally televised games. A little unfortunate, but we can get back on our moneymaker, folks. So here we go. Wizards, Grizzlies, that's the first matchup. Spurs, Mavericks, that's the other matchup on today. So since there's only 2 games, let's kind of guess the spread before we actually look at it. So here we go. Grizzlies, Wizards, Grizzlies at home. I'd probably call this one Grizzlies -3.5 just because they are at home. This is going to be very interesting. How are the Wizards playing this kind of break? Are they going to be able to kind of carry their momentum from the back half of the first season after this break and keep it up and keep the winning going? Or can the Grizzlies, they've been, they're 16-16 at 500, just kind of, mediocre, just kind of winning and losing, not really beating the best teams consistently or, anything like that. So I'd probably call this one Grizzlies -3.5, and I think I'm going to take the Grizzlies. Not sure if we can trust this Wizards coming out of the break, especially the first game back. So we'll probably swallow the points here for the Grizzlies. And then the Spurs and the Mavericks, depending if everybody's healthy for the Spurs. Hopefully they are. They had some time, to rest. So if the Spurs are healthy, and if they're getting points, we may be able to get some good points here, because the Mavericks, I'd probably put them at -5 maybe for this game. Mavericks -5 because they are at home, and they have been kind of doing very, very good at the back half of the first half of the NBA season. So we're going to call this one officially Grizzlies -3.5 and Mavericks -5. And I quickly want to go to the Wizards because I wanted to look at them. So let's go back to kind of all these stats and look at Washington Wizards. I just want to see who that third is, because we obviously know Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook are going to be 1 and 2, but I want to see if Davis Bertans is the 3, because I think he should be, and he's coming off the bench. So here we go. Let's see what Washington has here. Number 1 is Bradley Beal. Number 2 is Russell Westbrook, and then Davis Bertans is actually 5. Wow. Thomas Bryant in only 10 games is number 3. And Rui Hachimura is at number 4 with 12 points a game and 5 rebounds, where Davis Bertans is at 11 points and 3 rebounds. Wow. I thought he'd be a little bit better than that. All right. Alrighty. Okay, now let's go to the official lines here. Let's see what we got. Finally, we can start talking basketball. I love it. A 5-day break killed me a little bit. Alrighty, so here we go. Wizards, Grizzlies -3, folks. We just called it, and we'll swallow these points. We feel a lot more confident in this Grizzlies team, just kind of to be right on where they left off after this break. So we'll see kind of how Russell Westbrook comes out of the gate rested. He should be good, but maybe he turns the ball over a lot. And how is Bradley Beal going to kind of perform? He was in the All-Star game, so didn't have a true break. How is he going to perform out here? So we're going to take the Grizzlies here. -3. We'll take the home team be a little safe with the first game back. And then Spurs Mavericks, we called it Mavericks -5. It's Mavericks -4, folks. So we know what we're talking about here, folks. We truly do. So now this one's interesting. Let's make sure. We probably should have made sure everybody's playing for the Wizards and Grizzlies. So let's get that. Let's get all this up to date here. Alrighty. Wizards, Grizzlies. Ish Smith is still out for the Wizards. For the Grizzlies, Grayson Allen is still out. Wow. Still with a concussion. You couldn't get over your concussion, Grayson Allen. But we're not a big fan of Grayson Allen anyway, so we still like Grizzlies -3. We're still fine with that. And then Spurs and Mavericks. Let's see, is everybody good to go for the Spurs? Everybody is healthy for the Spurs. Love it. Now for the Mavericks, everybody's good to go as well. Tyrell Terry is a game-time decision. I mean, he's a non-factor anyway. So everybody's good to go for both of these teams. Man, oh man, this is tough. I want to take the Spurs plus the points here, folks. I truly do. Luka Doncic in the All-Star game. Spurs currently number 7. Wow, is this this is potentially for the number 7 seed here. All right, I don't know, man. The Mavericks have been kind of good the last 2 weeks of the NBA season. They are 8-2 in their last 10. How are they going to handle the break? Is everybody going to come off great? I would expect a Greg Popovich coach team for everybody to be good to go. So I think we're going to take the points here with the Spurs. I expect them to be a little bit more competitive, especially with finally everybody healthy. I mean, that was the problem with the Spurs the last kind of week and a half here of the first half of the season was that, you know, they were missing some key pieces. Rudy Gay not being in. One of their other kind of key pieces not being in as well. So we'll take the 4 here. We really haven't been too impressed by this Mavericks team. Yeah, Luka Doncic is good. That's fine. And Kristaps Porzingis usually has good games. But I think the defense of the Spurs can really lock him up. LaMarcus Aldridge maybe gets on him a little bit and locks him down. So we'll take the Spurs plus the 4 and the Grizzlies -3 in our first moneymaker back of the second half of the NBA season. Loving it. Woof. Make some money here tonight, folks. Alrighty, here we go. Let's go to our NFL draft prospect of the day. And folks, we got a junior today on the show. A little old junior. His dad was in the league, and he was pretty dang good, folks. So today's NFL draft prospect is Asante Samuel Jr. Yes, sir. And if you all don't know, he's got a dad, Asante Samuel, defensive cornerback in the league. Played, how many years he play? 12 years, 11 years, absolutely fantastic. Made, what do you got, a couple of Pro Bowls here? 1, 2, 3, 4 straight Pro Bowls. Absolutely fantastic. 1 first team All-Pro. Look at this man, a 10 interception season. He had a 9 interception season, a 7 interception season, a 6 interception season, ending out his 11-year total with 51 picks. Yes, sir. And not only did he have 51 picks, he had some pick sixes, folks, some touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns in his 11-year career, so absolutely fantastic. Nice couple of pass defenses in his kind of Pro Bowl seasons. 24 pass defenses, that was his highest. 18 pass defenses. Don't throw to my side. No, sir, I'm breaking up those passes. I'm picking off those balls. Absolutely fantastic. So if he's anything like his dad, he's going to have a nice career here in the league. So absolutely fantastic. Now, let's go back to junior here. Asante Samuel Jr., 5'10", 184. I mean, that's exactly what his dad was. 5'10". They're both 5'10", but his dad a little beefier, 185, where the junior is only 184. So got to bulk up a little bit there, kid, to match what your dad did out there. But, yeah, I mean, he can obviously, I mean, if he's going to be anything like his dad, he's going to be fantastic in this league. So we'll look at the stats and look at the film and see what Asante Samuel Jr. is bringing to the table. So let's start here. 3 seasons at Florida State. Freshman year, played 11 games. He had 18 tackles, no interceptions, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries, but he did have 9 pass defenses, so don't come to my side. All right, then 2019, they got to a bowl game, so we'll check that out in a minute. Played 12 games, 49 tackles, 1 pick. 14 pass defenses, definitely. Why are you trying me? Don't come to my side. I'm breaking it up. So pretty good 2019 season. And then in 2020, only played 8 games. He had 30 tackles, 3 interceptions. Yes, sir. 6 pass defenses, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 forced fumble. So getting it done in the stat column, getting some turnovers, some takeaways, very well done. Pass defending, don't come to my side, don't challenge me ever, don't disrespect me by throwing a 50-50 ball to my side because I'm breaking it up. So not bad there in the stats. Now, he didn't get to a bowl game in 2020. Unfortunately, Florida State has not been that good. But let's see what he did in the 2019 bowl game against Arizona State. Oof, they get the loss. Unfortunately, we don't like that. Don't like to see you losing bowl games. Only 1 tackle, no interceptions, 2 pass defenses. All right. They gave up 20 points, a close game here. Gave up 11 points in the fourth. Even worse, giving up points in the fourth quarter, not great at all. So, already a little lackluster in the bowl game. Stats are all right. Nothing great. Nothing really fantastic. The 3 interceptions this season in 8 games. I guess that's pretty good. Let's see if he opted out. Let's see if Florida State made it to a bowl game or what. So he played 8 games and Florida State played 9. So looks like he may have not played in the bowl game or the last game. Does not look to be a bowl game. So, all right. Missed 1 game. Alrighty, so the stats are not great for Asante Samuel, not bad either. Definitely going to have to look at him. I mean, when we're talking about, defensive backs and corners like that, you don't expect too much in the stat department, so really just have to trust our eyes here. So here we go. Let's break down his highlights here. Here we go. Cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. from Florida State. Let's get the number on this man as well. 26, not his dad's number. His dad was 22. So changing it up, going his own route, cementing his own legacy. Got to respect it. So number 26 here. Let's watch what this man can do. Alrighty, here we go. First play. Quarterback going decently deep. Oh, and that's just an easy interception. That's just easy. Steps right in front of it there. Just a really bad read by the quarterback there. That was absolutely atrocious. Threw it into like triple coverage. Just never saw Asante Samuel Jr. coming over there. It wasn't like he was on man defense. He was like in a zone, kind of a deeper safety role, and he just goes and picks it off easy there. Alrighty, next play up, going deep, testing him. Once again, bad throw here by the quarterback. I mean, this is just an easy pick. Just an easy pick. I mean, let's go to the beginning of this play here. I mean, we see him right here at the top of the screen. He's got some help with the safety over the top, so he's just kind of bracketing that kind of receiver, making sure he doesn't kind of get to the boundary. So Asante Samuel's kind of just taking away from the right hash to the sideline. He's taking away all that space, and he plays it perfectly. Quarterback just throws it way too much inside or outside, and Asante Samuel Jr. here just makes an easy pick. Alrighty, so he's got sure hands, so that's good as a corner. That's what we want to see, right? When, easy balls coming his way, picking them off. That's why, you play defense, because you can't catch consistently. That's why you're not a wide receiver. So let's make a note here. I mean, these first 2 plays are very easy. Easy interceptions are secure. We'll just kind of say that. Alrighty, let's continue on. Hopefully they get a little bit better here, because these first 2 plays have been instantly wide open. Alrighty, here we go. Next play. Oh, okay. He's a physical corner. Holy moly. He's got one-on-one coverage on this little comeback route. He is respecting. I mean, he gave him like 15 yards separation there. But he comes back and just makes an absolutely, he slams him to the ground, picks him up and slams him, body slams him. Alrighty, that's going to be a flag in the league, but hey, I mean, get physical, get aggressive. I'm about it. Set the tone, absolutely. And this is this was like the first play of the game here. Only 10 seconds off the clock, and he is coming out and setting the tempo with a big old hit. So I'll give him this hit. Yeah, you gave him a lot of separation, but hey, you got to respect some receivers in this league. Alrighty, but that slam, woo, physical. Alrighty, love it. Alrighty, what do we got here? Number 4, play number 4 here. All right, quarterback escaping the pocket. Once again, an arid throw. So the defensive line gets the pressure on the quarterback, makes a bad throw, and then just once again, Asante Samuel just in the right place at the right time, and for an easy pick here. We can watch this from the back angle here. Kind of just playing a little bit of a zone here. Just gets the zone, This receiver did get open. The quarterback just like throws it wild. Bad throw there. So once again, another easy interception. So surefire hands for this man. Oh, Trevor Lawrence is going deep. Okay. Trevor Lawrence for Clemson going deep, 50 yards. And Asante Samuel says, who are you testing? Don't disrespect me. And this wide receiver's got some nice height on Asante Samuel. I mean, just look at this man. Asante Samuel's jumping midair and is still not even above this receiver. So he can outplay. He's a smaller defender out here. Obviously, as we said, only 5'10". So, receivers are 6'1", 6'2". Kenny Galladay, 6'4". He's a free agent. But just look at this great technique. Doesn't get beat down the field. Comes over the top at the last second to bat the ball away. Really avoids hitting the receiver's hands for, pass interference as well. I mean, this is great sound technique. Asante Samuel Jr. Don't try to go don't disrespect me. You see it's one-on-one. I'm a lockdown corner over here. Don't disrespect me by throwing a 50-yard bomb to the end zone to think you can score easy on me. Stop disrespecting Asante Samuel Jr. Let's keep it up here. What do we got? In the red zone. And that's just an easy pick. Once again, he just steps in front of the wide receiver here. Easy, thank you. Just a nice little hop there for a pick. So he can get in the way, folks. Just making those easy, secure interceptions. The pressure gets there by the defensive line, forces a bad throw by the quarterback. He's going to get those surefire interceptions all day. Just steps in front of the freaking receiver there. That's just too easy. Now, his return game is not the best. I mean, we'll go back to the other one, but I mean, look at this. This player's like, hey, come back inside. I can block for you, but he stays outside and then just gets taken down. I mean, so definitely got to be a little bit better on these returns. I mean, this is a pick six. If he goes inside, this is the only person to beat. You've got two blockers out on the inside. This man is telling you, come inside. He's waving you in. Get inside. Come this way. But Asante Samuel Jr. stays on the sideline and gets brought down. And, since we've seen it twice and we can bring it back up here, let's go back to one of these other interceptions. I didn't point it out because I was just going to leave it be, but now that we've get clear, concise evidence that this man cannot return picks for any decent yardage here. So let me go back to the other pick here. Is this the first pick? I think it was the second pick. That was the big old hit. This is the pick right here. All right. So he steps in front of the... Oh, no, because he gets brought down there. All right. Where is it? I know I saw it, folks. I'm not lying. Here it is. This should be it. Should be the first pick here. All right, here we go. Back to the first play here. This is the first pick. All right, he steps in front. Nice pick. All right, so everything's going good here. He shifts back inside right here. Now everything's going great. Everything is going great right here. This is the last man to beat right here at 78. And once again, he's got a blocker out in front of him. What does he do? He stays inside. Look at all this room you've got from the right hash all the way to the sideline, open field with the blocker out in front of you. But he stays shallow. Why not bounce it out and try to beat this tackle right here? But he stays a little bit too much inside. Bounce it out right here. 78's a lineman. You're telling me you can't outrun a lineman? Come on. So if he bounces it out a little bit more, he can get out, but he stays just really in his own lane right here, sticking right there. And so his return game is very lackluster. Let's note that down. The returns after the picks are very lackluster. Does not really see the field too well. Doesn't see the field. That's what we're writing down after picks. Alrighty, let's continue on here. Let's get up. Where do we leave off? Breaking up Trevor Lawrence. Then we get this pick. Alrighty, now here we go. I mean, look at him. He's just playing easy zone coverage here on this ball right here. Just kind of comes down. I mean, just wow, fantastic. I mean, what a play. What a play. That should have been a pick six. I'm super disappointed. Alrighty, now we're back. All right, against Boston College now. Nice little toss to the running back, and yes, he comes up and makes the tackle. He doesn't break down. He trusts his own judgment to make a surefire tackle. Bring him down 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Absolutely fantastic. Great open field tackle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If we see it one more time, we're going to jot it down on the notes. He's a surefire open field tackler. Got to see it one more time, though. So if we see it one more time, we'll write it down. Alrighty, another pass here. Oh, yes. Closes in on the route very quickly, and he breaks up the ball. Thought it was open. Quarterback thought it was open. Tried to squeeze the ball in a nice little kind of crossing route. But Asante Samuel comes up, jumps the route, breaks up the ball. Incomplete. Yes, sir. All right, back on the goal line here. 3 yards to the end zone. One-on-one coverage, and that's an incomplete pass. Yes, sir. Once again, did y'all not learn from the Clemson game? Don't disrespect me on one-on-one coverage. Yes, sir. Now, he may get a little beat here off the rip. Receiver goes up and jumps and catches the ball, but hey, you got to break up the ball when you can, and that's what Asante Samuel does. Big hit, knocks out the ball, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. Alrighty. Quarterback throws it. And once again, Asante Samuel wants all the smoke. If you're going to run a comeback route on the sideline, he's going to come up, make the play, and then body slam you. That's the second body slam we've seen from Asante Samuel, so he's not afraid to body slam a receiver. Not afraid of the smoke, folks. He will body slam you. Not afraid of the body slam. That's the note right there. Body slamming wide receivers out here. Just disrespecting them, picking them up, suplexing them. Yes, sir. Alrighty, what else do we get here? We get the body slam again. Or no, this is a different play. All right. Yes, sir. There it is. Oh, yes, sir. We can officially write it down. Surefire tackle in the backfield. Once again, a nice little swing pass to the running back to the left side of the field. And what does Asante Samuel do? Read it instantly, makes the surefire hit. And not only that, he put the helmet on the ball, forced the fumble as well. So surefire tackle out of the backfield. Absolutely fantastic. And then the force to fumble, that's just the icing on the cake, baby. Yes, sir. Surefire tackle out of the backfield. Alrighty, yes, sir. Now we're talking. All right, let's finish it up. We got another minute here on the highlights against Florida here. Ranked number 11 at the time. Going deep, and once again, what do we expect? A breakup at the last second. Yes, sir. Not allowing anything deep. Oh, yes, a nice another comeback route, and he just plays it absolutely fantastically. He's got great closing speed on these comeback routes. Yes, sir. Forces a little bit of a juggle of the ball, and it actually gets tipped up in the air because of his hit here. So let's watch it. The comeback route just comes in and flies back up on the receiver, forces the tip up, and that's the pick. So, yes, sir, great closing speed on comeback routes. Yes, sir. Alrighty, now we're talking. Alrighty, another quarterback going deep, and once again, that's a breakup. That's a 40-yard pass that he just goes and breaks up. Yes, sir. I mean, the receiver is trying to box him out a little bit here. We see the receiver have kind of, inside positioning, and he just comes over the top, no penalty, no flag, bats the ball away at the last second, and that's what I'm talking about, baby. Do not test this man deep. He's breaking them up. Fantastic work. Alrighty. So that's Asante Samuel Jr., folks. I mean, kind of impressed us, honestly. Those first two plays of just easy interceptions. We were a little worried that, the highlights weren't going to be that great. But, I mean, the surefire tackle in the open field on running backs, that's a must in the cornerback position, because you're not playing man coverage every time. You're playing kind of softer zone, kind of playing the flats. And that's, as soon as you see it's going to be a swing pass, you need to go and make that tackle initially, not break down for the running back to kind of juke around you, or just kind of break down and wait for other tacklers to get there or other defenders to get there to kind of, whatever happens. You go out there, you make the play behind the line of scrimmage, and we saw him do that, so that's absolutely fantastic. One-on-one coverage, he's got it. He's got it down. He's not going to let you come down with it. Yeah, you may win positioning, but you better hope you can take the hit. You better hope you can, take my hands coming in and knocking the ball out. So you better be prepared for that if you think you're getting hands on this ball here on one-on-one matchups. And then that closing speed on those comeback routes, I mean, fantastic. Body slamming receivers, knocking the ball loose, knocking the ball up in the air for picks. So the man's really kind of showing it all here. Absolutely fantastic. Loving this, man. Asante Samuel, definitely kind of our support here. He's got our stamp of approval of a solid draft pick here. Fantastic work. Alrighty, now let's close out the show. Did anything break while we were live? Let's see what we got. Anything good on the timeline? What are we missing? Okay, Nike unveils new earned edition jerseys to celebrate the 16 teams that made the last year's playoffs. Okay, these are, all right, these are looking good. We'll save this for tomorrow's show. Gosh darn, I'm liking some of these. We'll look at these maybe a little bit deeper tomorrow. We'll go a little bit deeper in those tomorrow maybe. Bills released John Brown, so this is going to be another great wide receiver to kind of join the bunch that we said. Kenny Golladay, Emmanuel Sanders, Juju Smith-Schuster. So some nice potential pieces here, not getting tagged, getting released. So hey, wide receiver. You know, we know the draft has some nice high level wide receivers, Lamar Chase, Devontae Smith, but you can get some good value here. Already proven talent, Kenny Golladay, John Brown, Emmanuel Sanders. So some options here for some teams. Anything else here? Anything else? Really just looking like John Brown here, getting released. Alrighty, that's looking like it is it. Alrighty. That's it. No other news breaking. Alrighty. So we'll be back tomorrow, folks. Live, noon Eastern. Finally getting back into the swing of things of live NBA games. Back tomorrow with an NFL draft prospect of the day. Day 25. Back with kind of our moneymaker. It's going to hit, folks. Nice little two-teamer. Grizzlies -3. Spurs +4. And then I'm sure there's going to be a hell of a lot of games on tomorrow as well, because that's going to be kind of the first official day. I'm expecting a lot of primetime games, nationally televised games tomorrow. So we're back kind of in the full swing of the NBA tomorrow. Back on the show. Finally back. Thank goodness. Alrighty, folks. We're out of here. Back tomorrow live, noon Eastern. Twitch.tv/takesbyfans. Alrighty.